Good morning, welcome to 59 Minutes. My name is Larry Kones. This morning we're going to be talking about matters to do with business, specifically talking to a proprietor of a restaurant, just to find out what has been going on during the pandemic times in terms of, restaurant business. To have that discussion is a lady who's just across the building from us, running a restaurant called the Golden Plate Restaurant, MAUREEN, MAINA. Good morning.
Morning, Debbie. Nice
Thank
to
you
be here.
for allowing us here.
You're most welcome.
You have a really, really wonderful place. Tell me, how did you get into this business?
I worked at Barclays, now Absa, for about 7 years. I left Absa in 2017. The reason why I left Absa was because I needed to be, like my own boss. I needed to have control of my time, more so because I was a mom, and I'm still a mom. My kids were really small at that time, and the working hours were crazy. I used to leave the house at 5 in the morning and to get home at 7. So I never used to see my babies. They were toddlers then, 1 year and 3 years. So I decided to leave employment and start business.
Were you sure it was going to be restaurant business, or how did that?
No, I was not sure it was going to be restaurant business. Before I even started this restaurant, I did quite a number of things. I did Ubers. I had 3 Ubers, but the frustration of dealing with drivers, it was crazy. So, but then this opportunity came up, and I took it.
You took it?
Yes.
Had you been ever in any kind of business of, serving food or cooking? Or?
No, it was actually the very first time. So I did, because I knew I didn't have the expertise of running a restaurant. I decided to hire staff who've worked elsewhere and who have been successful in running or doing the actual restaurant things. Cooking. I had good chefs. I hired good service ladies, the waitresses, and we've worked together, and they've really helped me, and so far so good.
So when did you open your doors?
I opened the doors for Golden Plate in 2019, actually just before COVID. We opened doors in October of 2019. So we did October, November, December, January, February, then COVID.
Then COVID.
Yeah.
How was it like, the pre and we do the post? How was it like?
I can say like God really favored me, because when we opened this place, there were no other restaurants around here. So I came and I tapped into the market. I was able to get AAR, who are right opposite us, who were feeding or giving their staff lunch for about 2 months. Then COVID came. So when COVID came, everybody was told, you have to work from home. Restaurants were closed, so we closed. So
then, initially, what were your thoughts? Was it going to be for a short time? Or did you have, the government had given its instructions. But initially, when it was first starting out, did you think we would be talking about COVID in 2021?
No. In fact, I thought, we'll just close that much, and April we are back. I didn't think it's going to take this long. I thought COVID is just like a flu. It will come, or like a small wave, 1-2 months, and it's gone. That is what I had in mind. But here we are.
So the measures start in March. How different did things become in terms of even day-to-day running?
Things became very, very, very difficult, especially in terms of, clients, the flow of clients. Clients disappeared. And how did they disappear? They went to working from home. And even those who are coming to the offices, they were very skeptical about buying food from outside. This COVID, no one knew really. You will even think you'll get it from buying food from, So people used to carry food from home. So my clients just disappeared one by one. But slowly, I can say we are rebuilding. We are slowly coming back. The, what do we call it? The stigma that was there is slowly withering. And now even with the vaccination and people embracing the vaccine, I can see like the market is slowly opening up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing that you have, stuck through it, and I'll come and ask you about that. But let me just ask right now, in terms of your staff and your personnel,
Yeah.
how did you deal with them? What did you have to do, to survive that COVID time?
Unfortunately, I had to lay off staff. I laid off about four staff, and we remained very lean. I remained with a very skeletons. So I only had one chef, 2 waiters, and 1 steward. And before, I had 3 chefs. I had 4 waitresses, steward. I mean, I just had to cut down.
Yeah.
So that I'm able to sustain even the business and to sustain the day-to-day running of the business. So it was very tough. And even the staff that I remained with, they were not on full salary. I was just giving them maintenance to just keep them going for the period of time we had closed. In the year 2020, we closed for 227 days.
Wow.
Yeah. So for those 220,
wow,
yeah, I was counting. Yeah, it was hard. It was really hard.
In those days, it's surprising that your restaurant is still here. Did you ever think of just closing shop and forgetting about it?
Yes, I did. Because I was wondering now, how will I open with all that rent arrears? But thankfully, the landlord has been very gracious, CASNEP. They gave us waiver for the time we had closed. So they give us 100% waiver on rent, but you see, you still need to pay the service charge.
Yeah.
But I can say the landlord has been very gracious. Otherwise, I don't think I would have come back. So he allowed us to even get into a payment plan where we are going to pay the arrears. And so slowly, we are trying to get back on our feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are, when you think about the government measures, and then especially every time they brought new measures, they targeted, hotels and restaurants.
Yeah.
And you could see, people in other fora, probably not social distancing, maybe continuing with life almost as normal. What did you think about such things? Did you feel like maybe there was a,
Yeah, it was. I felt like it was really unfair for the government to really target the restaurants and not focus on, yes, it's true, probably other restaurants are crowded, but I think it would have been better for them to allow, even with the social distancing, allow us to run the restaurants. But the issue of closing and only allowing takeaways really didn't work, because you see, most of our clients here are men. Men will not do takeaways. He'd rather just come to the restaurant, eat, and go. Telling a man to carry food to the office, most of them, it was not.
Yeah.
So it really hit us, and it has hit us hard. We are still recovering. Yeah.
Difficult times. The what made you come back and say, let me continue?
I think it's just the desire to see the business continuing. The fact that I know there are people who are looking up to me. I am supporting families here. So it would have been very easy probably for me to just say, let me just close the doors and see what happens. But when you remember you're supporting other families, when you remember there are people who are looking up to you for their support, for their daily bread, it keeps you motivated. It keeps you going. And of course, my clients, you see, there are those clients who keep calling, oh, Maureen, when are you coming back? When are you opening? So of course, even the clients will
you develop some sort of rapport.
Yes. Yeah. And they keep you going, and business continues.
Specializing now here, what do you feel like, given your client base and how you have started?
Yeah.
What are you serving mostly?
Upper Hill is a very funny market. Here mostly we are dealing with people in the offices, people who are employed. These people who are employed on a salary do not want to spend 500 shillings, 1,000 shillings on lunch on a daily basis.
It adds up, yeah.
Yes, they want to spend, they want to spend maybe between 200 and 300 shillings on a plate of food during lunch hour. So
and they still expect quality.
Yes. And they still expect quality. So mostly here what we sell is beef, beans, dengu, matumbo. Those ones are the ones that we sell a lot. Yeah.
So it's just the basic stuff to get.
Basic stuff. What you'll get outside kwa kibanda is what you'll get here at Golden Plate. But now, of course, the quality and how it's served and how it's presented. That's the difference.
And how it's presented.
Yes.
What's in the name, Golden Plate?
Golden Plates. You know, when we were looking for a name for our business, I didn't want to, you know, the usual cliche names. Yeah, you know, where we come from.
Yeah.
We give businesses.
MAUREEN's Kitchen.
MAUREEN's Kitchen.
Yeah, those ones.
Oh, those ones. So I wanted to look for a name that will, you know, will depict quality, standard. You know, gold is, you know, when you hear gold, unajua tu ni kitu ya bei. You know, something precious, something good. So that's where the name came from, Golden Plate.
Golden
something
plates.
Beautiful.
Even from the name, you know, there are some people who would fear coming in.
I know, we've had that issue. And even before we, you know, we stayed quite a while before we got customers coming in because they'll get intimidated by the name and even the signage outside. You know, unafikiria hapa ni mali, you know, you'll go and spend your thousands. So what we decided, lazima ujipange, Golden Plate, hapo unaenda kuacha maelfu. So what we did, we decided to deliberately do marketing. So we made flyers. We did, you know, the two blackboards, the ones you put outside, like the gate. So we could write things on the blackboard, menu, daily menu, today special. And then you see, you write liver ugali, 300. Matumbo ugali, 250. So you see, the fact that you write the price against the food, people are like, what? You mean this place is not that... You mean it's affordable?
I can walk in.
It's actually affordable. So that way, that's how we were able to like bring in clients by distributing flyers and being very deliberate in our marketing. We've also like talked to many, you know, different companies. We are supplying snacks to even all around, like most corporates. That's how we are able to survive.
What do you think is the most challenging thing about being in the food industry?
Well, the most challenging, number one, I can say, are the taxes, the fees, the licenses. They're just too many.
How many licenses did you have to pay to?
5. They're usually around 5. There is the business permit. There is food and hygiene. There is a signage. You have to pay for the signage. You have to pay for fire and safety. And you also have to pay for food handling certificate for all your staff who are handling food. That is all the waiters.
And if you play music, you have to pay.
Copyright. Yes. So you see, there are so many licenses. And the bad thing is, they are not prorated. Like now, that year we closed. For those 200 days, you don't get a refund.
Oh, you lost?
You lose. And even this year, there was a period where we closed. And yet you're expected to pay for the whole year. It's January to December, regardless of when you open. So even if you open in June, you'll have to pay January to December. They do not prorate licenses. Say you're opening for 6 months, they give, you pay for the licenses for 6 months, no. Then there is catering levy. 2% of everything goes back to the government. Of course, there is VAT, 16%. Now, and yet you're selling your food at 200 bob. So it's crazy. The licenses are just too many.
It does make you feel like, you know, the system is almost set against you.
Yes, it is. We work for the government. That's what I can say. Before you pay yourself, you pay the government. You pay so much.
You would like to see a system where that was at this.
Yeah, I would have really loved to hear, you know, even the president just saying, you know, now that the restaurants were they were hit, we've given them 50% waiver for the next year. You know, like just trying to give back. Because you see, tuko kwa hustle, we are just trying to make ends meet.
Yeah.
We are trying to survive, but yet you feel like the system is just constantly suppressing.
How have you survived with costs of food, especially being in Nairobi?
Cost of food is now crazy. Everything has gone up with the increase in fuel.
Yeah.
You see, they say when the fuel goes up, everything goes up.
Yes. How have you been able to source? Do you find yourself looking into markets that you never thought you would look into?
Yes. Like now, you know, where I used to get chicken, I can no longer get chicken there. It's now very expensive. So you have to source for cheaper sources. Everything has gone up. Last year, we were buying 20-liter jerrycan of cooking oil. Was 2,700. Today, 4 or 5 months later, it has gone almost twice to 4,000 per 20-liter.
It's 4,000.
4,000 per 20-liter. And you have to use it to cook your fries. Huwezi pikia watu na although kuna wale utumia mafuta ya transformer. But now you understand what pushes people to use those things, those kind of things. Yes. You can imagine 20-liter is 4,000. Na haujanunua waru. A gunia of waru for, you know, there's waru for mokimo, waru.
Yes, there's different ones. The Irish,
yes.
Yeah, those ones.
Sasa waru, gunia ya waru ya chips will go for about 4,000. Na mafuta 20 liters is not even enough to cook all that waru. And yet, you have to price your food in a way that people are able to afford it.
It's an uphill battle, isn't it?
It is, absolutely.
What are you telling yourself despite all these things? And how are you getting yourself to even continue day by day? Aluta
continue. The struggle continues. What to do? We have to continuously strive. You have to be resilient.
Yeah. You know, many businesses, they say, and within the first 1 year, they have fallen.
Yes.
Some even within the first 6 months. Yours has survived despite the odds, despite a pandemic. What would you tell somebody out there who's just getting especially into this business? What do you feel you should have known now in hindsight that you wished somebody had also told you?
Well, one, business is not easy, but it is rewarding. How is it rewarding? Because like I told you, the reason why I was pushed to business is because I wanted to be, you know, my own boss. I wanted to have control over my time. I wanted to have control over, especially that part of time.
Yeah. Some of us just want to yell at people. Yeah, part of the being the boss.
Yeah, actually, what really pushed me is that, you know, the desire to have control over my time. So I can say the business is rewarding in that sense that you're able to control your time. It is also rewarding in the sense that, you know, for me, it gives me so much satisfaction to see, you know, people who are looking up to me going home with a paycheck at the end of every month. That is how, I mean, that is how I get, you know, the like push.
At least I'm doing something.
At least I'm doing something. At least I'm putting a smile on someone's face. At least I'm responsible for paying school fees, not only for my kids, but even for the people who have employed, you see. So those are the things that I can say to me are truly rewarding. But it's not easy. Business is very, very tough, especially today in this era of COVID, and where things are just skyrocketing, and where, you know, we have very few people who have, you know, that disposable income yenye wanaweza kuwa wanatembea kwa restaurant every day and eating and, you know, buying lots of stuff.
Yeah, that number is much smaller.
It's much, much smaller right now. People are really like looking towards saving the little money they have for a better tomorrow. So as a business, you feel it. You can feel like, you feel it. You feel like people are spending less and less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Given all the costs that you've had to pay, and for you to stay afloat, and even for the overheads for them, even imagining even your power must be something else. Even power was going up and things like that. What advice would you give the necessary government departments that regulate issues to do with restaurants to help restaurants stay afloat?
Like I told you, I would appreciate if we are, like we get tax reliefs, like we get, I don't even know how to put it, but watupunguzie, like they should reduce those, what are they called? The licenses, paying 7,000 for food and safety.
There was that you said there, you prorate that. What else would you tell them?
Like for the government to just go easy on restaurants and businesses, because the people who are doing these businesses are just trying and working very hard to make ends meet, to just come in and support.
Yeah, and of course now you've been forced to sanitize.
I know all those things.
Yeah, you're masking up.
To look at, you see, like these parastatals, like KPLC is a parastatal, it's government. Why don't they look at ways on how they will reduce the electricity, the billing? I mean, water, that is government. It's a parastatal. Why don't they look at ways in which they reduce the amount of money they're collecting from us? They're just collecting too much money from us and not giving anything back to us. No incentives, nothing. We are just giving to the government. And yet there is nothing they are giving back to us.
So you feel as
thanks for the vaccine, at least the vaccine, the government is taking care of the vaccine, the COVID vaccine, which is free. But, I mean, over and above the vaccine, can they even make things, you see, like now that we have to do medical tests for our staff every 6 months. Why can't
every 6 months?
Every 6 months, why can't they just do it for free for the restaurant? You have to pay 1,000 shillings for every employee. So if I have 6 employees, I have to part with 6,000 shillings every other 6 months. Why don't they think about things like
food handling, isn't it?
Food handling certificate. And it is a very strenuous process. Why don't they make such things easier and accessible for people in this industry? Yeah.
So that at least you can go back to making money and eventually they can get their taxes.
Yeah.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins. But the things we are paying are just too many. Too many.
Yeah. I feel you on that. With the COVID protocols being what they are, how confident have your customers been to walk in and see that, it's an okay place?
The good thing is, this being a government building, they are also very keen on who comes in and how you're coming in. You have to have a mask. You have to sanitize at the gate. So most of our clients are very confident. And then of course the way we've set up the restaurant, there's social distancing, 1 meter distance between each table, a sanitizing point at the entrance. You get your temperature is taken at the gate. So most of my clients are happy and they're okay. They are comfortable.
Yeah. So like the confidence is back.
Yeah, the confidence is back. It's slowly coming back. We're waiting for people, those who are still working from home. We're waiting for them to, if they are going to resume. Then we see the market is slowly opening up and we're very optimistic.
Yeah. Every time you hear talks of, another shutdown.
Yeah.
Or,
it just sends a cold chill down the spine, because I know if that's another shutdown, definitely our restaurant will be hit, not only ours, but all the restaurants. Yani Uhuru akiongea najuanga tu lazima atataja restaurant. Bars and restaurant. Na kwa tu nimengojea hiyo part.
Unaona atawalima.
Lazima. Like there is no time he gives a whatever without talking about restaurants, bars, churches, those ones.
Yeah. You always feel like you're on the targets.
Yes, restaurants and churches, tunakuanga two targets.
Same WhatsApp group.
Same WhatsApp group. Yeah.
But imagine you're here, you've done well.
Thank you.
Despite the pandemic, the challenges that it has brought up, you're still standing.
Thank you.
You're still standing. What encouragement would you give other people who are also going through the same challenges as yourself?
Those people who are going through these challenges, I'll encourage them to...
People in business, who are in this, and they're thinking, hey, can I really go on like her?
Be resilient. It's not easy. Soldier on, bigger picture, and have the trust in God and be patient. Most people don't have the patience to wait until, you go through this valley. Then, of course, after the valley comes
up the hill.
So many people usually give up when they're down at the valley. So I'll just call out to my, fellow youth who are out there hustling. Need to vumilia too. Let's be patient. Let's be resilient. COVID is here to stay.
Yeah.
Let's look at how we are going to, reinvent ourselves and fight this battle.
Yeah.
Because we have to fight it and we have to win it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's interesting. We're about to go into an election year. Every politician is talking about, the economy now.
Yeah.
And talking about, helping people in business such as yourself.
Yeah.
And it's everyone who is talking about it.
Yeah.
If you were to talk to any of them, where would you tell them to start?
In terms of...
Because they're watching you today. They talk about how we can help the business people. Where would you tell them to start with this help? All those guys in politics who are saying, we want to help business people. We want to help them.
First, let them reduce the cost of living. Let them reduce the cost of living. The cost of doing business is just too high. If they want to help us, let them look around that. How they will reduce the cost of living, the cost of doing business. Because if that is reduced, definitely, then there will be that flow, cash flow. But now you end up using so much capital or so much cash. So by the time you're even starting to run your business, you're already so indebted. You have sunk in so much money.
Yeah.
If you want to do something decent, you have to look for a lot of money, to pay those licenses, to purchase the things you need to start your business.
Yeah. Because setting up and doing all this is not...
It's not cheap. It's not cheap, and everything has gone up. Everything, wood, metal, cement, everything, lighting.
Hata fundi bei
Fundi. Kila kitu. The cost of starting business is just too high. So they want to help the business community. They need to look at reducing the cost of living, reducing the cost of starting businesses. Yeah. And they also need to see how they can inject, cash into the economy. Watu wameishiwa na pesa kabisa. Even accessing loans nowadays is it's an uphill task. You see, like here, you have to, for every business, I'm sure out there, cash flow is very important. You need money. Sometimes you have supplied goods to your suppliers who are taking so long to pay you. So you go and approach a bank, you want money, you want to finance an LPO, or you want to access cash so that you can continue as you're waiting to be paid. That is not easily accessible. It's not.
So it's just tough all around.
It's tough. I'm just looking and wondering and listening to them, and I want to hear what they have to offer. It's not just talking, but can they just be realistic and say, this is how we are helping the business community, this is how we are helping the SMEs. They are talking about SMEs giving loans, but where are they? Are they accessible? Are they cheap? Are they affordable? They're not.
We only have about 2 minutes or so, imagine. If you had to do this again, would you do a restaurant business?
Yeah. Yes, I would.
Yeah?
Yes, I would.
You'd pick it anytime?
Anytime.
All right. What's your parting shots to your customers, to your clients, to the people watching you? What would be your pitch, your place?
You know, here we say we bring your kitchen to you. So feel at home, Golden Plate, come, enjoy your meal. If you're not able to come, we do deliveries. We will deliver to your office. We will deliver to your doorstep. Yeah, so feel free. This is where quality food comes from around here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maureen. You said we bring your kitchen
To you.
to you. Yeah. Mahali hayo. Maureen MAINA talking to us about entrepreneurship, running the Golden Restaurant right here in Nairobi, just here in Kasneb Towers, right across our building. You can visit and check it out. We'll be talking to more business people about the, issues they are going through, the pandemic, and talking to people as resilient as Maureen, who are still in business despite what has been happening in 2020 and now 2021, and even going beyond. Thank you for watching us. That's 59 minutes. God bless you. Have a good day. Stay tuned for Leah coming up with the lawsuit. And see you tomorrow, God willing.